we got Charlie, or Penguins, MoistCritikal, talking about the California fires and that they are awful. Yeah, it's like, this thing is, yeah, that's wild, like in a negative way, a wildfire. Let's check out what Charlie has to say about this.
I have been glued to the coverage of the California fires. It is hard to imagine what that must be like. My heart goes out to anyone affected by it. I'm wishing you the absolute best. It looks like footage of a doomsday.
Here is a satellite picture of the Eaton fire just this morning. It shows nearly every building in western Altadena on fire. In the Palisades, the destruction, it's immeasurable. The fire there has destroyed at least 1,000.
Bro, that's is it like the first time, like also like in I think also like, yeah, like that LA is burning. I think that's like the first time in history, right? Like, or like, yeah, like some serious fires in LA. That's like the first time, right?
1,000 structures so far.
I have been reading
and Ali also says she's pretty sure that these fires are getting worse. And also Aliyah says that Tara had to evacuate. And River says like Tara was evacuated, like for real. She thought they only had power outage. And yeah, Aliyah says she's pretty sure, but she might be getting it wrong. And River also said it's the first time she got to the residents like that. Yeah, I also think that's also my thought here.
Watching so much about these fires over the last like 4 hours now, just trying to get to the bottom of how did it start and how do you stop it, because it is just out of control and it seems like people are powerless against it to try and halt the spread of it. It's affecting so many thousands of families and animals. It's unbelievable. And unfortunately, the answer to both those questions, how did it start, how do you stop it, is a resounding don't know. It's almost impossible to track exactly where all this began because it could have been absolutely anything. It's so dry and so windy in California. Like, windy doesn't even begin to cover just how strong the winds are. I read a couple articles saying that wind speeds were getting up to like 80 miles per hour. I don't know how accurate that is, but like that's like an apocalyptic amount of wind. That's like something you'd read in Homer's The Odyssey when one of the gods gets angry. So that...
And River also says a whole neighborhood is gone in LA. And Leah says she just packed an evacuation bag. That's what she means. Like in terms of Tara, there's a warning for her area. And River also said she sees it and she hopes it doesn't get to their area.
That combination of dry and windy, anything could have started this. It could have been Harold and his family in their backyard on Tuesday were making s'mores, and one of the embers just got, picked up and brought on an adventure by the wind, leading to a small fire starting, and that small fire immediately just blossoms into something like this. Now, it's multiple fires that have been happening throughout California. It's not just one, which is what makes it even worse. Fires keep breaking out and keep spreading all over the fucking place. And there's so many factors at play for making this even more difficult to combat than it already is with these conditions. So I read a lot of reports about there just not being enough water for them to fight it, as well as the winds being too high for any kind of aerial attempts. Even though there have been aerial attempts, you can see some of the footage, like one of the planes that dropped water. It was getting fucking ragdolled by the wind. Luckily, the plane didn't crash or anything, but after it dropped the water, the wind was like blowing it around like it was an NVIDIA physics demonstration. It was unbelievable. I was also reading reports of budget cuts that may have had an impact on the fire department's ability to control a fire like this.
There's some departments where you really don't want to cut back on the budget, bro.
I was also reading there's just not enough firefighters in the area to fight against something of this scale. So there's just so many different things at play. And I am showing a lot of self-restraint right now, not ranting and raving about insurance companies as well. I'll briefly mention it though, I'm sure a lot of you saw this. State Farm and, some insurance providers, they decided, you know what? Don't really need fire insurance. So a lot of homeowners that are losing their homes right now, a lot of families that are losing their homes, no longer have any kind of fire coverage because the insurance just they didn't think they needed it anymore. So I was reading a lot about how State Farm in particular canceled a lot of fire insurance. So there's a lot to say about that. I'll bite my tongue on it. I've ranted about insurance a lot over the last couple of years. But anyway, the big question is, how do you fight against it? And right now the answer is you don't. The best they can do is try and save like animals. Like I noticed a lot of effort being made to get pets out of houses that some families left behind.
Also, River's Edge feels for the firefighters. They, also, let's say, putting their life on the line to save lives. That's their job, right? But that's a big challenge that they're facing right now.
Behind, as well as like horses that got left behind, and trying their best to save property. But it doesn't seem like there's any viable way for them to stop the spread of the fire at this moment because of just how absurd the wind conditions are. And also just not having enough tools at their disposal for it, like with water and everything. And that's just really scary. They have come out and said the best thing they can do is just wait for it to run out of fuel. That's really about it at the moment.
Bro, that means, like, bottom line, LA has to burn down. Then the fuel is burned out.
It's a horrifying set of circumstances out there. It's absolutely tragic. Now, of course, with anything of this scale, there's going to be some very brain-dead takes about the whole thing. There's no real point into diving into some of those, but I mean, I'm seeing some unhinged shit, like, why aren't the residents of Bikini Bottom coming up from the ocean to start spritzing salt water on the fires to help us out? And like, how can there be fire when there's ocean right next to it? The big thing I'll briefly talk on this one because I see this a lot. Why aren't they just using the salt water to put out the fire? There's an unlimited amount right next to them. Well, you don't really want to be salting the earth. That's not ideal, but at least salt water is better than no water. And I actually read from the California fire captain that the actual acquisition of that water, getting it, transporting it, making some kind of holding pool for it, and then making some kind of way for it to use in their pumps so it can draw from the holding pool to their pumps is just very difficult. And also the weather conditions make it extremely difficult to get a fixed wing aircraft out there to super scoop the water because the wind is blowing so hard. That could also just be deadly if they tried to get any kind of aircraft out there to super scoop the water.
Okay. River also says, from what she knows, if a house is in a fire hazard zone or hurricane zone, fire or typhoon insurance is required for the mortgage. It's crazy how insurance companies just did that. Yeah, sometimes, bro, with insurances, you paid a good amount of money for essentially nothing. Sometimes that happens depending on the decisions of the insurance. Sometimes also the decisions of some people that got the insurance depends, right? But in this case, like what the insurance did here, as Charlie said it, and if that's completely fact checked and all that, then yeah, that's pretty fishy.
So the big thing for not using the salt water right now is that it's just really hard for them to even get to use against the fire if they wanted to, which is why they're using, water from lakes and reservoirs and all of that. But I have seen that a lot. It's actually like a SpongeBob solution. Why don't we take the ocean and move it over there on top of the fire a little bit? And it's not that easy. It doesn't work that way. Yeah, no, I've been seeing the videos of the fires out in California. It is horrifying. Here, hold on. I saw this video earlier today. So most people were ordered to evacuate, and I imagine most people did. There's a video of some people that didn't.
This was going viral to all over the place. Look at this video.
This actually looks like something out of Doom. Like Doom Eternal or something. Like when the portal to hell opens.
This was a guy who didn't heed the warning, stayed behind.
Bro, that's crazy. That's so crazy, bro. Whoever this is, get out of there, bro.
Look at what happened here. I mean, to be surrounded,
bro, he also got his dog still there and all that, bro.
By flames in all direction with your dog there. So this is not what you want to have happen.
Bro, it also looked like he's trapped in the flames. Like he can't even leave. Seems like he's surrounded by the flames, bro.
So as
that is insightful. Listen, folks. This is not what you want to have happen. You don't want flames blazing, this inferno surrounding you. That's you're not looking at a good time. I'm just gonna say it. Hey, call me a jerk all you want. You don't really want that.
If he was able to post the video, I hope he ended up being okay. I hope he was able to get out, but
from what I recall, he did.
An exact update on what exactly happened.
Yeah, the footage that's been coming out from this is it's hard to believe that it's not a movie. It's truly nuts.
RF said in the YouTube live chat that she's back, and she asked if I react to any videos other than the Cali sisters do their dress to impress real life in real life. No, I just finished the IRL version of Dress to Impress with the Cali sisters. Now we are at this video, and I got a few more. Also some YOLO Stern content, if you know what I'm talking about. And some brony convention video. If you know what a brony is, I don't really know what a brony is.
Obviously, this is our local story, but
it's like something out of a Roland Emmerich film.
News anchors coming here today. I mean, this is.
What's even more fucked up is apparently a lot of people were denied fire insurance by companies like State Farm shortly before the wildfires happened. No, what? What?
Wait a second.
This is.
What's even more fucked up is apparently a lot of people were denied fire insurance by companies like State Farm shortly before the wildfires happened.
Okay.
No, what? What? Insurance did that? I must have misread that. That can't be right. That doesn't make sense. No, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. Don't make me go on insurance now. Now I'm fucking stun locked on insurance. You remember, I think I talked about this on stream. So, I don't remember which hurricane, but one of the hurricanes that blew through Florida a few months ago, it caused some flood damage to our warehouse. Nothing like too expensive to fix or anything, but we of course had flood insurance. Well, let me tell you, the insurance being the saints they are.
Wait a second. Like is Charlie located in Florida? Because there was this hurricane in Florida, and then he got this flood insurance. Seems like he's located in Florida, right?
They found a way to weasel out of any coverage for the flood damage, so it came all out of pocket. And that's the way it goes. That you pay for the insurance for the sole purpose of helping when a natural disaster happens, and their whole goal is to make sure they don't actually pay you for what you've been paying them for the entire time.
But it's also very important. That's also the reason why I also talked in this one reaction of mine. If you're signing some sort of contract for a certain service, like insurance, or employment contract, something like this, you really should read every single word of the contract, bro. That you know what you got, because these insurances, you have to keep that in mind. They will cover their butts with certain paragraphs in their contracts. If you know these contracts you signed, you will know, hey, if I got this in this situation, there's no help that I can demand of them. So yeah, this is also why I'm saying, like, read the stuff that you're signing. You won't read every TOS of every single thing you signing in for, whatever, some social media, whatever. Yeah, I also don't do that with everything, but there are some very important contracts and documents that you read from the beginning to the end with every single word. And that's one of those, like insurance or contract for employment, whatever, some sort like that. Oh,
it's incredible. It works the same way in health insurance. It's amazing. It's really amazing stuff. What was their reason for denying it? What was their reason for denying it? Oh, fuck, I can't remember. I think one of the big things was they didn't think the flood damage was as bad as we made it sound. And also, even if it was, it didn't do enough damage to warrant them covering any of it.
You know, that's the thing. Of course, the insurance wants to know. You have to bring some evidence, you know? Maybe even beforehand. if you're insuring whatever your some sort of your you got some maybe some laptops or whatever, some high priced devices or whatever, you have beforehand, as you're signing this contract or yeah, having this agreement with the insurance, you have to show the bills or beforehand showing like, okay, that's the value of this and this and that. And then as soon as it's whatever, stolen or broken or whatever, you can say, okay, here's the bill I showed you in the beginning. Now it's gone. I even have a like police officers reporting this whole case. There's evidence. You have to pay now. And then if they're still resisting, maybe you have to get an attorney. Yeah, like you have to go to court maybe. But that, in terms of what Penguin, like Charlie said, yeah, they somehow have to prove it, of course. And the thing of it wasn't enough damage that they would cover it or whatever, maybe was also a paragraph in the contract that they have signed. You know, I'm not trying to be the smart aleck here or the know-it-all, but it's just, let's say, the details. And that's for everything in life. It's about the details also, bro. You have to be aware of the details with everything in life and everyone in life.
It was some combination of those two excuses. Didn't only damage one part of the warehouse. No. One part of the warehouse got it worse than the other. The back building where we play. It was some...
I want to listen to that again.
Some didn't do enough damage to warrant... They didn't think the flood damage was as bad as we made it sound. And also, even if it was, it didn't do enough damage to warrant them covering any of it. It was some combination of those two excuses. Didn't only damage one part of the warehouse. No. One part of the warehouse got it worse than the other. The back building where we play for skill check videos. That one, the entire floor and everything had like 2 or 3 inches of standing water. That one definitely got it the worst and destroyed most of the things that were still on ground level.
And River says, she said the poor animals that are now in LA and all that and maybe left behind or whatever. And she also says, in terms of the insurance thing, but that's the point of having an adjuster. Like, she means the insurance people who are checking the damage. Yes, like that's also, you know, the thing is also like these adjusters or these people that are checking that are let's say employed by the insurance. Obviously, they're employed to completely dissect this whole situation and make a judgment like, okay, we have to cover it or we don't have to cover it, and they put a value on them being very, very precise and also check if it can be avoided to not cover it. To cover it, to save some money, obviously. But at the end of the day, these adjusters still have to make, let's say, a job that is, let's say, they have to be reasonable and justified in their decision. And if there's obviously something that isn't justified, then you maybe also have to say, like, bro, there's this and this evidence. Maybe not like bro, but good sir or good madam. You've made a little mistake here because this and this and this shows like evidence that you have to cover it, and then maybe you have to go to court. But I absolutely understand what you're saying, River, here. But again, it's always about these details, bro. It's about the details. Some people like to forget about the details. It's so important, bro.
There, but the main warehouse building had water damage in the walls.
But again, I'm not in Charlie's shoes here. I don't really know what happened with this property that was damaged by the flood and all that. I don't know that. I'm just speaking generally and in my opinion. Okay. So take that for what it's worth. But again, Charlie knows more information and is more in the situation because it happened to him, not to me.
But not too bad, all things considered. But it still would have been nice if flood insurance was like, hey, yeah, we'll cover that. We'll help cover that. You literally pay us to cover it, so we'll do that. But they didn't do that. Because this really is just, it's unbelievable.
So this is entirely.
And also, I don't think it's that cool of some insurances if they really have to pay and that there's evidence. They maybe even let some people take it to court because they think like maybe some people don't want to go to court because maybe that would be too risky for them, and they're like, we were waiting. If they don't go to court, we win. You know, that's the thing. That's also that's absolutely wrong. That's not cool. And some insurances maybe do that.
This whole street, Tom.
It's just actually erasing so much.
That's really like out of a movie, bro. So it's really like some sort of a apocalypse happened, bro. Like some sort of the whatever, some fire demons came out of hell and now going rampage on LA.
And I didn't know this, but apparently the reason this is so out of control is because of how windy it's been in California. Because there's been a lot of wildfires in California. There was the big ones a few years back that took out a lot. But this seems to be like a totally different beast because the wind is unreal. How does this start? Is it just dry and wind? Literally that. There's no telling exactly what started this. It could be a fucking cigarette being flipped out by a substitute teacher that just got off of work. And then it just starts a small little fire and it's so windy.
Or like fire demons, like haunting the whole state of California. Yeah, different places, obviously.
That it just blows it up. It just explodes it. It could be absolutely anything. Alien drone lasers from Jersey. I am actually surprised I haven't seen more conspiracy theory takes on it. Now, granted, I haven't really been looking or anything, but I feel like that would have been one of the first things. The first fire started in someone's backyard. Imagine having a small fire end up costing thousands of houses. Where did you see that? I didn't see that. It's very possible, with how bad the wind is, that is actually what started all of this, but where did you see that info? Let me look it up. 5 football fields a minute, how a perfect storm of extreme weather set off Los Angeles wildfires. Man, holy shit. They're picking up burning debris and embers and depositing them downwind, and that's...
Okay, those are the spots where the fires are. So there's one, and yeah, like Los Angeles area. Whole lot of, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's the recipe for what we've got now. There's nothing the fire crews can physically do to stop this fire. All they can do is try to get ahead of it and hope there are enough natural fire breaks in the form of rivers, open areas with little vegetation that maybe can slow it down a little bit. It's virtually uncontrollable, and they go out, typically, only when they run out of fuel. Okay, so it broke out around 10:20 a.m. Tuesday. Its exact cause remains under investigation. So I don't know where you saw that it started in someone's backyard. Didn't a fire start one time because of a gender reveal? Yes. That was 4 years ago, I want to say. A gender reveal party caused a massive raging wildfire. Yep. Like all the footage coming out, you can just see it from anywhere in California, it seems. Well, okay, not anywhere in California. You can see it from many, 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 many miles away, and the whole sky is just like this orange, smoky hellscape.
California, which is also on fire. This is the Eaton fire in the Altadena area, and for the first time, our colleague Gina Silva is giving us a look from the ground. Those are horses, Gina?
Those are horses, yes. There's a woman that just came down the road here, and she's trying
God,
to
just look at that.
But as you can see, we are
What
on
the
New York
fuck?
Drive in Altadena, and this entire hillside is on fire. It has already crossed the street, and there's a building here that is in danger of all...
Bro, like 2025 is not starting off good for Cali.
So you can see how dangerous the situation is. These are the streets: Kinalea Canyon Road, Outpost Lane, Glen Springs, Coolidge, Miranda, Roosevelt, Vernada.
Yeah, I don't know how she's even able to report. Like, the smoke inhalation alone must be just impossible.
And these winds are absolutely dangerous.
Were there any attempts of using helicopters to collect water from the ocean to put out these fires? So I only started reading about this like an hour or so before stream. Chat can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's actually kind of dangerous to fly during this because the wind is so strong. Like, so strong, so there's not a ton of, like, aerial watering attempts. But I don't think you'd be using ocean water, by the way. I think you just mean general water. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I don't think you'd be wanting to use salt water. But if I remember correctly, from what I was reading, they're not doing a lot of aerial stuff because of how risky it is with the wind speed. Because the wind speed is getting, like, to 80 miles per hour. Is it mainly in the hills of California right now? So... there's 4. I think it's 4. And I don't think they're all just in the hills of California, but I think the majority of it is there. CNN says there's 6. Well, it looks like there was at one point, but I think this icon means that it's like under control. I would guess, because I mean usually green is green good. This is one of those situations like with hurricanes, you'd hope we had some weapons or technology to stop it. Oh, you know, this is...
You know, that's the thing, bro. Like humanity is let's say very powerful already in terms of many things, but the weather is still something that humanity can't control, and maybe at some point it will be possible, but then also the question is if that will turn out as a good thing, because maybe some people don't really have that good intents with controlling the weather.
This isn't what you were trying to say, but you know what it just reminded me of? You remember how all the people were saying, like, the government's got, like, the Democrats have the hurricane machines, the weather machines that they're sending hurricanes at Florida with? Where the fuck is that technology now? Why does the weather machine only happen sometimes if we have that technology? Yeah, if the weather machines are real, now would be a really good time to start a torrential downpour or something in California.
Oh, it's over. It's over. All right. Yep. All right. Wow. Yeah. Like that's a tragedy, bro. Like, hopefully they will save as many people and animals and maybe also property if possible as they can and stop these fires. So yeah, I want to give this video a like because it was very informative and was interesting to hear Charlie's take on that. There you go, Charlie.